Hello, my friend, and welcome back to the Keeper of the Home podcast. This is episode 2, and I'm actually just really excited to get this ball rolling in this new platform. The more I think about what I'm undertaking to do, the more excited I get. I just feel like I really do want to cultivate this ability to be able to talk and present, and this is a great platform for me to do that. And I hope you'll just be impatient with my learning curve that I'm going to experience here, and I still hope that you get a lot from each of the episodes. So my goal, if you're new here, is to just be able to show up here weekly and inspire you as the keeper of your home. I really want to help you lean into and love this role that you have and appreciate the opportunity to tend to your home and the hearts that you are in charge of. So I hope this resonates with you. I'm excited to have you here and to kind of explore all things home with you. Now, some of the episodes will be more instructional. We'll learn new skills and talk about practical things. But some of these episodes, I really like to just tend to our own hearts and kind of remember why we're doing what we're doing. And homemaking, some days are great. There's so much to learn. There's abundance of skills that we can cultivate. And that is great, but then when the homemaking days are really hard, when you're exhausted and discouraged, that's when we really need to kind of tend to our own hearts. So that is what I want to do today. I want to focus on what it means to actually be a keeper of the home. It actually took me a while to realize that this role is literally the most exciting job in the world. Being a homemaker opens you up to a world of just endless things that you can learn and experience and cultivate. Really, no day should look the same. I know some of our tasks can feel mundane, underappreciated, but we have the opportunity of governing our day for the most part. Of course, if we have littles, we need to show up for them in the times that they need us, but our home is our sacred place where we can cultivate the atmosphere and treasure it. And that is such an amazing, amazing opportunity. Now, next week, I am actually going to pop in here and share with you a bit of my story and how I've come full circle of always wanting to be a homemaker and then despising it, actually, and then coming back to really appreciating this role. I feel like that will give you some context for why I'm showing up here and am so passionate about this. But today, let's talk about you. Let's explore ideas for what it means for you to be the keeper of your home. What exactly does this entail? And in order for me to show up here and serve you where you're at, I'm really trying to imagine who is with me here on this podcast, who would click and listen to a podcast called The Keeper of the Home. And of course, you have the opportunity to join me visually on YouTube, or Spotify also does video, but you can just listen through audio through Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, wherever you like to listen to podcasts. It should be all pushed out there, but you have those options. But I'm here trying to visualize who's actually here with me? Who can I serve? And I have been about the business of sharing online content for many, many years. It's probably been 10 years. Of course, every year I keep saying 10 years, so it's probably looking more like 12 or 13, actually. Started with a blog back in the good old days when that's really all there was. And then, of course, I've developed into the social media. YouTube is a couple of years old, and I have kind of cultivated a bit of a diverse audience because my homemaking interests are diverse. Our job has a ton of variety: gardening, cooking, cleaning, and then any hobbies that we pick up on the side. And so I'm here just kind of sharing my life on these channels and the interests that I have as they come up. But for this podcast, I really feel like narrowing things down a bit more. I really want to speak to the homemakers here, those who are tending to hearts and home. Now, homemaking could be just about all you do. Maybe you're a stay-at-home mom, or you are just home cultivating your home environment for those who join you or for yourself. Maybe you work out of the home. Maybe you work from the home. I am not really picking any particular audience there. I just know that if you're here, your home life and your desire to cultivate your home and make it a place of comfort and love is the majority of what you do. It's the bigger purpose of your life. I'm really imagining that's who's here with me. Now, you could have an empty or a full nest. I think you'll still glean lots of great stuff here. You could be male or female here joining me, but I'm guessing 99.9% of you are female, just because of the nature of the work. I don't care what political or religious spectrum you are on. You're all welcome here as we just celebrate all things home. I'm even imagining perhaps you have a farm or a homestead or live in the suburbs. None of that matters. We're just here to talk about home and really enjoying the role that we have. I do imagine that you are probably very busy, so I am going to try to keep each episode at least 20 to 30 minutes long and respect your time, and keep it as on point as possible. I do tend to get a little chatty, so I do have a little script here on my computer to guide me, or an outline, so I don't get too sidetracked. But I hope to value your busy time here. You can just listen as you go about your day, doing dishes, laundry, driving kids to and fro, whatever you need to do to just tune in and get a little inspiration each week. I'm just very, very glad you're here. All right, so we are the keepers of home. What a noble title. And actually, was it about a year ago on my blog, Tidbits Company, I used to have the tagline of inspiration for do-it-yourself living, but I changed that about a year ago to inspiration for the keeper of the home. That really helped me focus and find more purpose in what I was sharing, and I feel resonates more with my audience. I love the word keep in this role of keeper of the home. And the reason I want to lean into this phrase is because of how powerful that word keep actually is. And I did a little research. If you look at more modern definitions of the word keep, it usually has more to do with possession, like earning my keep, or I will keep this to myself. That's kind of the more modern outlook. However, if you dig a little deeper and look at the archaic definition of keep, I was really interested to see that it means more of in charge or in control. It had this statement, if from shepherd's keep, a lamb strayed far. So it's more about being in control or in charge of something or someone. So I love that. But if you dive even deeper into a more biblical outlook of the word keep, it gets even better. So when we look at the biblical meaning of keep, it means to guard, to preserve, to be faithful to, and maintain. And that just adds so many new layers to the phrase keeper of the home. And it just makes me love this role even more. I love that word, to preserve. And then maintain. Of course, keeping a home is a lot of maintenance, but it's necessary and it's an honorable thing to do. And I especially love that definition of to guard our homes from outside influences that may harm or be detrimental to the hearts that we tend. So I really love looking at the layers of these modern, archaic, and biblical meanings of the word keep. It really puts into perspective what we're trying to do here as keepers of our home. You'll also hear me refer to us as homemakers often. I love the creative nature of that word, homemaker. I'm a creative person. I'm a visual person. So to just imagine that I'm making a home is also really fulfilling and rewarding. But the word keeper of the home also adds more depth and appreciation for what we do. So let's talk about what being a keeper of the home actually looks like. What does it entail? And you might be thinking, maybe it entails that my home is perfectly clean and tidy, that my children are well behaved, and that really is not what we're about here. Being a keeper of the home is so much more. It's about the feeling and the love that you have for those in your home and for the work that you do. So I have a story that I want to share with you that I think kind of brings this point home. All right, so this story comes from my college years, which was a long time ago. I'm 38, so it's been a while, but it was such an unforgettable experience that it has just never left me. So I was enrolled in a food science class. My degree was in family and consumer sciences, which is all about homemaking. Obviously, it is all the things I love. So I loved getting my degree. It really helped me understand my work that I do. I feel like I use it frequently, but anyway, I was in a food science class and our sweet teacher, she welcomed us to class one day and told us that she was going to take us on a field trip. This was very unusual to take us out of campus, but she brought us to the home of another lady. And at first glance, when we get there, I see her garage is filled with Harley motorcycles. And I'm thinking, what in the world is going on? And this lady comes out, she's like in leather biking gear. And it was just an interesting scene. And I'm like, what are we doing here for food science? But anyway, so she piqued our curiosity for sure. Well, we had been learning about the science of yeast and how yeast works. And she brought us to this home of this lady that she knew that was really good at bread making, which on outside appearances, I didn't think that would be the hobby of a Harley enthusiast, but nevertheless, apparently she was very good at bread making. And this sweet lady, we were kind of a smaller class, probably 10 to 15 students. She just welcomed us into her home. It was tidy. It smelled delicious, of course, because she had this array of the breads that she had just been baking and slaving over to share with us. And I was just floored with the environment that she had set up for us. And I remember the specific statement that she said. She said, "Nothing is better than coming home to homemade bread." And I have remembered that through the years, and I always think about that when maybe I'm baking bread or something yummy and kids or the husband walk in the door and they smell it and they go, that smells so good. It's so rewarding for me. But anyway, she let us taste test these breads. She showed us the whole grains. She showed us what happens, the results when you mix half white, half wheat. She talked about the timing. She really kind of helped us get into the science of bread making, which I'm sure is why my teacher had brought us there. However, I don't remember anything that she said, but I remember how I felt in the home of that keeper of her home. Now, even though this sweet lady, whose name I don't even remember, she brought out like her best preserves, she let us taste test it all, even though that was all part of the experience, I don't think that was the success of this event. I don't think just the bread and the science of the bread is what made this experience so memorable for me. It truly was like her hugs to us students who she didn't even know, her encouragement to us in our studies, the details that she put into. I remember she had this beautiful tablecloth layered with a lace tablecloth on top. Like, I remember these details. They meant so much to me. And maybe I was just a starving college student and missed home so much that that's what made it so memorable. But I was just so impressed by the effort that she put into her home in order to welcome us there. It just really was unforgettable. And it made that whole experience a successful lesson in my mind that I just have not forgotten. I remember how delighted she was to see us. She walked out the front door in her biker gear and just was thrilled to see all these college kids walk in her home, which I'm thinking, could I possibly have that same attitude? I don't know, but she did. She was so welcoming and encouraging. And she shared with us her abundance. Like, you knew that the preserves that she had bottled were a treasure, and she had opened it up for us and just given to us of her abundance. And all these little things is really what being a keeper of the home entails. It's not having the perfectly clean home or decorated home or styled home or the perfect children. It's really about the feeling that you bring into your home for yourself and for others. Now, I'm kind of a poem junkie, which is actually kind of a new thing, but I have fallen in love with poetry as of late. And I ran into this poem a while back and loved it. It's a short one, and I'll just share it with you. Home's not merely 4 square walls, though with pictures hung and gilded. Home is where affection calls, filled with shrines the heart hath builded. Home, go watch the faithful dove sailing 'neath the heaven above. Home is where there's one to love. Home is where there's one to love us. Home's not merely roof and room, it needs something to endear it. Home is where the heart can bloom, where there's some kind lip to cheer it. What is home with none to meet, none to welcome, none to greet? Home is sweet and only sweet, where there's one we love to meet us. I hope this short little podcast has just given you some food for thought. I hope you can really take some time to think about what being the keeper of your home really means to you. And even though you may face hard and difficult days, I hope you can come back and center yourself in the reason why you do these things and the importance of what you do as the keeper of your home. So yes, we are going to talk about cleaning and organizing and design and decorating and planning and all sorts of skills that will help you in this role as the keeper of your home. But I just hope that this has helped you appreciate this really sacred calling and role that you have, and really lean into and enjoy it for as long as you get to do it. Thank you so much, my friend, for joining me today on the Keeper of the Home podcast. I am just really thrilled to begin this journey with you. If you have an extra minute or two and would like to start learning more about ideas and projects that you can do as the Keeper of the Home, go ahead and check out my blog, Tidbits Company. I will leave it in the notes, in the description, so you can go check it out and cruise through it. I actually have a brand new website design. It has been a true labor of love, but I am thrilled with how it came out. There are just areas for you to explore different topics. You can see the newest blog posts. I have a linen line. I love pure linen. It just has my heart. And I have some planners for sale that I make and create for you. I also have a section in my shop for classes. Right now there is an emergency evacuation preparedness class, which is so important for us to think about as the keepers of our home. And of course, Mr. Tidbits has popped in with some building plans for cool furniture and things. Anyway, if you have a minute to go and check out Tidbits Company, I hope that you'll find lots of ideas and projects and inspiration for you there. I will also leave in the description a link for you to sign up to my newsletters. You can also do that on the homepage of my blog, but If you want to sign up for my newsletters, I send them out weekly, sometimes 2 times a week, depending on how much I'm posting. But this will notify you when some new content comes out, whether on my YouTube channel, my blog, or now this podcast and any new products that I create. So if you want to stay in touch, that is probably the best thing for you to do, is to sign up for my newsletter. And of course, as I'm growing this platform, any reviews, 5 stars, thumbs up, comments, anything like that that you can do to help me kind of propel this new podcast out in the world, I would very much appreciate, and it would be extremely encouraging for me to feel like I'm talking to someone here and to be able to connect with you. Again, thank you so much for joining me, and Lord willing, I will be back very soon to share more inspiration for the keeper of the home.